Right, well, it looks like I am live as of now. So I'm just going to wait for a few people to stop by. Hiya, Jamie. You all right, bud? I'm going to mod you up, mate, actually. There's a moderator. There we go. Just going to wait for a few more people to come in, and then I'll discuss what I did a couple of nights ago. Do you want a link, actually, Jamie? Would you like to join the panel? Would you like to come on? Speak, Jamie. Tell you what, I'll send you a link anyway. Hi, Mr. Nobody. You all right, buddy? Let me get my link. There we go. Copy that. Right, Jamie, I'm just going to nip on to go to your channel, and I'm going to send you a link if you want to join the hangout. Right, so Jamie, you should have that link now if you want to join. Mr. Nobody, how's it going? Would you like to join the panel? I had you on the panel before, didn't I, Mr. Nobody? Hey, in good times. You're right, pal. Yeah, I think I've already showed you the footage. Good times. I think you're you know what's going down. Do you want a link? Good times for all. Anybody? Anybody? Anybody want a link to jump on? All right, okay, Mr. Nobody. Yeah, it's no worries. If you don't want to come on, that's fine. Yeah, I'm looking forward to presenting this, to be fair. I'm just going to wait for a few more people to come on. I'm hoping that we're going to get, once I get to about 6. Oh, we've got somebody in. Jamie, hello.
Hi.
Yeah, pal.
How you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Yeah, I went to Barrow. Did you know I was going to go to Barrow? I don't know if I told you.
Not sure. I thought, because what was this for the Blackpool illuminations switch on or something?
It was, yeah. It was basically because the illuminations were on till like 2 AM, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to get some good observations at, you know, of an evening. I didn't even need to stay there all that time, to be fair.
Yeah, because it starts to because as the temperature's dropping down, the humidity lifts, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I mean, it was absolutely, it was it was a long journey there, believe it or not. It's only like, what, 20 miles from Blackpool.
Yeah, but you've got to go all the way around Morecambe Bay, haven't you?
Yeah, it was like 70 odd miles there and 70 odd miles back. And then when I got there, it was a place where I shouldn't really be. It was like a conservation area. So I pulled up. And
I think I remember you talking about this.
Yeah, it was a bit dodgy. I had to look like skirt the law and everything, and avoid the people that sort of like patrol that area, to get my footage. You know, to go up there and do this. It was a pretty long
So there was
night.
no other way to do it apart from kind of dodging the law a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I had to, you know, I mean, because it's a conservation area, you're not really supposed to go off any tracks that they say, and you're not really allowed to go down onto the beach. They don't allow you to do this. It's ridiculous, really. But, you know, I wasn't really too fussed about if I got caught, fair enough. But, you know, I'm only taking images of Blackpool. You know, I'm not doing that. I'm not poaching or anything.
So what were your height above sea level then?
Well, I'll show you now. Actually, we got a few in, so I'll start presenting in a minute. Just want to make sure that I'm hiding my hangout. I don't want that to be showed. And so I'm on there. The hangout channel can be right, so as long as I'm not displaying that.
So how come you had your did you get a strike or something?
Yeah, it was that video that I put up of Nathan Oakley, the scratchy, sniffy one, or whatever it was, sniffy one.
He claimed copyright.
No, he didn't claim copyright. He claimed bullying and harassment.
Oh, so it was a community guideline strike then?
It was, yeah. And
just shows you like that you're right then, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, of course it does, yeah. I mean, he did 3 videos about me. I didn't report his and just let him crack on, and he's like, oh yeah, go and do you know, if you want to do videos about me, do videos about me. I don't care. I'm like,
oh, and he even says that, you know what, even if, you know, he's like, well, you know, good, you know, all publicity is good publicity, you know, and he just doesn't care as long as as long as he's getting some kind of attention.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just put that up there for a second. Right, okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Entire screen.
I was wondering if you could maybe see North Wales from Cumbria. Is that too far?
Where, North Wales from Cumbria?
I'm just wondering, is that too far, or because there might be too much like atmosphere or something? I'm just wondering.
I don't know, actually. I wouldn't have thought you could see quite that far.
Because the furthest, because there was that picture, weren't there, that you could see it from Cleveleys. I'm just wondering if you can see it further up.
Right. I'm not too sure, mate. Are you seeing my screen now?
Yeah, I can see a screen.
Okay, right, okay. So let's start with the basics. Okay, so here's a video that I did when I got there, and it's basically, I'm going to show you where I was filming from. So I'm just going to scroll it up a little bit. Right. There's the water, and there's my tripod.
Water. So you can't see this with your naked eye then?
No. Well, yeah, you could. Water. I'm just saying this is where I was filming from. There's the water, and there's my tripod. I'm literally about 4 feet away from it. So my tripod's set around about 3.5, 4 foot in height.
So you wouldn't need to like subtract much because of height. I mean, you would have to a little bit, but
yeah, I'm literally right on the sea. You know, so there's no debating how close I was to the water's edge when I'm taking these images.
Did you put it in the Earth curve calculator?
Oh yeah, I've done all this.
All right, so I don't need to bother doing that then.
So that's where I was filming from. So I'm just going to knock that off for now. And I'll show you one of the images. Where are we? Look at that beautiful image there.
Yeah,
I'm going to go into a bit of detail about it because there's lots of stuff on here that you probably can't see until I highlight.
yeah, because some of the like details and stuff we don't tend to. I mean, most people don't notice details until they're pointed out to them.
Exactly, yeah.
Unless you've got like an acuity for it.
So what I've done on that is I've basically on here, I've changed the contrast a little bit on it so that it picks out things a little bit better. And then on this other image in a minute, I've straightened it out a little bit. Okay, so because it was a bit tilted when I took the image. So I'm going to scroll over here and we're going to look at Blackpool Tower so we can see that there's the hard horizon here. Can you see the really dark band going across the bottom here?
Yeah.
There's Blackpool Tower, and that's all of the Tower Ballroom basically there underneath it.
Yeah.
If I come across, I'm going to prove this in a minute, but that there is the Ferris wheel. I know you can't really see it. It just looks like a blob at the moment, but I'm going to prove to you in a moment that that's actually the Ferris wheel. Here we have the ice blast. Yeah, there's the ice blast with the light on the top. Here we have the big one.
It looks like there's some mirroring going on at the bottom.
There is, ever so slightly, but that's to be expected considering that I was so close to the.
Because obviously, if you must have seen good times for all's experiments.
But here we have the most important part of the puzzle, which is this light source here. Now, can you see that spherical light source?
So you're saying that's the mirror ball?
That is the mirror ball, yeah.
So how high is that then? The
mirror ball itself, well, this is what I'm going to go into in a second. I'm going to show you the stats for this. But that's only been, that was visible on the image, but it only becomes more apparent when I've adjusted the contrast. So there's all the layout of this peninsula, basically. So I took this image and you've got everything you want there. You've got Blackpool Tower, you have the ice blast. This part here, believe it or not, is actually part of the roller coaster of the big one. And I'm going to prove that in a minute too. And this here, this big light source here, which confused me because I thought, well, what the bloody hell is that?
Is the bottom part of the big one kind of distorted because of all the mirroring going on, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll show you because I've luckily, when you've got friends in the flat Earth community, I've got Anthony Riley and I've got Sandra. And Sandra was good enough to go down and find out for me what this light source was. I suspected it was a crane, and she was able to identify that it was a crane. She took a couple of images for me and showed it me. And Anthony Riley, he went off to that Parbold Hill, is it? And he took some images from there.
That's near Wigan, isn't it? So that's
So he took some images
not too far from Anthony, isn't it?
Sorry?
Not too far from Anthony.
Yeah, it's about a 15-minute trip for him. But I was happy that you both went and did it. Anyway, Sandra sent me this image. Okay, so there's the crane with the red light on.
I was thinking at first it might have been that, that ride, the swingy one.
Yeah, but it's not high enough, you see.
You can't see that one then.
No, but if you look at this here, you've got the big one that's there. You've got the ice blast, which is here, and then over to the left-hand side of this, as you're looking across this direction, you've got this big crane that was there. So that fits
pretty
in nicely.
big, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Riley sent me an image too. Let me find his. Where has it gone? Right. Okay, right. So here's Anthony Riley's.
So this was from Parbold.
Yeah, this was from Parbold Hill.
Yeah.
So there's the ice blast, and there's this crane, the same crane that Sandra took an image of. And if you notice, this is part of the roller coaster, but can you see how yellow it is? Oh yeah. As it turns around. Now, there's a better image of this on this one here. Can you see how that's all like a yellow squashed potato or something? You know, you've got the ride coming around here. It turns around and it looks all yellow.
Squashed potato.
Squashed yellow potato. So this is from the other side, obviously. So when I go back to
yeah, flat Earth and other squashed potatoes.
So when I go back to this image here, can you see this yellow squashed potato?
Oh yeah, so that's that thing that.
Yeah, that's part of the ride. That's part of the roller coaster.
So how come you're not able to see it all? Because that's what the ballers will say. Why can't you see it all the way to the bottom?
Well, hang on. Let me show you just how much we are seeing. If I scroll in here and I go across to this mirror ball here, and I increase the size on it, now you can see the hard horizon underneath it, which is roughly where this hand stops, I would say. But can you see how high this ball is, this mirror ball is, compared to the hard horizon underneath it? Now I'm going to show you.
It's just a little blob on the horizon.
Yeah, but it's way above the hard horizon. Can you see?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let me show you something else now. So bear with me. That's not the one.
You just flashed the link then.
Yeah, it's fine. If somebody snipes me, so what? Where the hell's it gone? Right, there we go. Right. So Google Earth. Right. So I managed to triangulate my positions. Okay. So here's where I was taking the images from. Okay, so this is Barrow in Furness, and I was situated right here, right next to the water's edge where I showed you that video before. And way over here, I've plotted on the maps some landmarks. So we've got Blackpool Tower, which is here. We've got the Ferris wheel, which is there. We have the Ice Blast, which is here. We've got this other little tower structure thing here that sticks up. I don't know what that is actually though, but I've put it on there because we see it on the actual image. We have the big one, which is here, the light, and this is the mirror ball here. Okay, so we have all those plotted on, right, from my line of sight. So what I've done is, where are we? Here, right. So this is the screenshot that I've taken of it. Okay, so I'm going to image crop to selection, edit, image, resize that to 520%. Right. Edit. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna overlay it now onto here. And I'm gonna bring everything down. And these are the line of sights. So these red parts here, that's the tower. Yeah, that's the line of sight for the tower. This is the line of sight for the Ice Blast, the line of sight for that other building that I couldn't identify right now, line of sight for the big one, and line of sight for the mirror ball, which is important. So when I lower everything down on the lines of sight, let's do it a bit quicker actually. Can you see how everything matches up? Can you see where the red lines meet everything? Lines of sight. Now, if I take a screenshot of this, right, file save as, we'll call it 100, just for instance, right. And then I go to here, and I open it up, and then I zoom in. So the line of sight for the tower is here, and that's spot on for the tower. The line of sight here is for the ice blast, which is there. There's the anomaly. There's the top of that little anomaly that I was showing you. Here's the big one, and way over here, that there is the line of sight for the mirror ball. So can you see how everything fits in?
Yeah.
And also, remember that anomaly that I said to you, oh, I'm going to prove that that's this circular structure here, because it's the only thing that looks different on this horizon line. There's nothing else that looks like that, but it's like a big blob of circle, isn't it? So that must be, because this is the line of sight, this must be the Ferris wheel. Even though it's not lit up, it's still captured it.
Will it ever be lit up then?
Sorry?
Will it ever be lit up?
It does light up. I mean, it was lit up on that day, but they turn it off at some times. You know, at some point it gets switched off. So it obviously wasn't visible on this, you know, when I took these images. Now this image was taken at hang on, let me see. Let's go over here, and where's the original? That's this one here. So if I go for the properties on this, it'll tell me the time that I took it, etc. So 00:07. So it was taken at 7 minutes past midnight. Okay, and it's got the GPS on there and everything, GPS latitude, longitude, blah, blah, blah. Right, so that's the time it was taken. So if I go back to this mirror ball here, and I'm looking at the tide times for that day. So on the Friday night, when I went, the high tide was at 8:45, and the following day, the low tide was at 3:20, which means that smack bang around about midnight was the mid tide.
Is this when the swell's at its highest then?
Yeah, so when it was at its highest on the Friday at basically 7 meters at 8:45.
So that explains why you're losing some of the bottom of the.
Well, no, there's a point that I'm trying to make here, which is that it was 7 meters at 8:45, and it was basically 3 meters at 3:20. So when I took the image, the tide would have been midpoint of that, so it would have been at roughly 5 meters in height.
Yeah.
So when I took that image, it would have been at 5 meters. So when I go back to here, what I've decided to do here is find out on the elevation. I'm just going to move that actually because it's just in my way. I'm looking for the elevation at the bottom. So when I'm scrolling in here and I'm getting near to this mirror ball, I'm looking for the elevation here, and the elevation changes. It goes down to 0 just here, right? So roughly just there. So let me put a line in here where it starts and measure the distance to the mirror ball. So it's over 1/2 mile, yeah, to the mirror ball at 0 meters. Yeah, so that's showing you where the low tide, you know, when the tide goes properly out, it goes out to this far basically, you know, along this peninsula, which means that all this golden sand is all open here. So there's ultimate low tide. But basically, the elevation on this mirror ball here is at 9 meters. Now the tide we know was at 5 meters, so it was lapping up against this sea wall here. So it would have been lapping up against it, which we see quite a lot in Blackpool. So here's where the tide would have been. So there's only a 4 meter difference between the height of the tide when I took that image and the distance to this mirror ball where it starts here. So that's around about 14 feet. So when I go to the glitter ball and find out what that structure is, it's 20 feet across, basically, and it sits 10 feet above the promenade. So in total, when you look at the mirror ball, itself, let me get an image of that. So when we look at the mirror ball, which is here, that is 10 feet from the promenade. The structure is 10 feet, and then the mirror ball itself is 20 feet. So in total, you're looking at 30 feet from top to bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 30 feet from top to bottom. And also, I've just showed you that the tide was about 4 meters below the promenade height. So that's roughly 35 foot in total. So when I was looking across, and I showed you that video to start with, where I was right at the sea's edge, and I'm looking across the water, I'm seeing this mirror ball is only 35 feet above the actual sea level at that time when I took that image. Yeah. So when we go to the meta bunks, which is here, and we do the calculations for that, we go distance in miles, which is 19 miles from the actual mirror ball from where I took the image. The viewer height in feet was 4, roughly. And even including the refracted hidden, should have been 152 feet. Without any refraction, it should have been 182 feet. Yeah. So the mirror ball was only 35 feet from top to bottom above. Now, on the image that I've been showing you, which is wherever it's gone now, this one here, and we look across, we are seeing all of that mirror ball. Can you see how it's all circular, and the light, there's also a secondary light that's reflecting around it.
So what's that then?
That's the mirror ball. It's got like 30,000 little mirrors on it. So they project a beam onto this, and it creates like a light show. So this entire circular ball here is illuminated, and you've also got the ambient light that's around it that it's projecting off as well. So the light is the ball itself is well lit up, but you've got this extra projection here. So I'm seeing all of that mirror ball basically, which means I'm seeing probably only around about 20 feet above sea level. And also we know that the hard horizon is here. This is the hard horizon where this is here. We know that from there to there, I'm going to say that's 35 feet, and that's the hard horizon. We are seeing complete flat. It's completely flat.
There is no curve whatsoever.
There's not even
a few feet.
No. If I take a screenshot of this, if I print this screen now, and I open it up on, let's just open up here, file, new, edit and paste.
Bowlers will be like, well, it's just standard refraction. It does vary.
And I'm going to open an image of the mirror ball. I'm going to crop that out. So that's the entirety of the mirror ball there. Edit, image, crop to selection. Select all, edit, copy, and then put it in here. So if I put that next to this, and we shrink it down a little bit, so it's sort of the same sort of size. And then I move that up to there, like so. And then we put the hard horizon in. So I'm going to put the hard horizon in now. I'll do it as a white, where I see the hard horizon, which is here. There's the hard horizon, mate. So there's the mirror ball, there's the strut, and there's the 4 meters of difference between the promenade and the tide height at that time. And there's the mirror ball sitting on top of the promenade, and there's the hard horizon. There's no getting around. There's no denying what this is showing.
Yeah, it's undeniable, isn't it?
It is undeniable.
Because there is no like atmospheric effect that can really be kind of creating some kind of, mirage or whatever. It's just
Yeah.
You're just seeing what you would expect to on a flat plane.
Exactly. And I've identified all the major things in there. Luckily, through Sandra and Anthony Riley, we were able to prove that that was a crane. That's the ice blast. You can see it's the ice blast because you can see even the structure on it, you know. It's completely captured it.
How tall is the ice blast?
The ice blast is about 200 feet. The big one is 200.
So you should only see the top slither of that, really.
Yeah, I mean 158 feet. 158 feet should be hidden behind the curve. There's the big one. Look how beautiful that looks. Look at it.
Yeah, it's pretty
Stunning.
clear image, isn't it?
Stunning. All of Blackpool Tower. If we come across here, look at this. There's where the lights stop on Blackpool Tower. Let me get an image of Blackpool Tower. Blackpool Tower. Go to the images and just pick one that I can see. There we go. Look at that one. Right. So yeah, all this lights up. All the metal part of it lights up, and this building that's underneath doesn't. You know, so you can see when if I copy this actually, copy image, and then I might be able to superimpose it over this one. Open with paint.net. Right. So I bring Blackpool Tower in here, resize it so it's the same height. Look at that. I'll just call it 200. I can't be bothered. Save. And then I'll go into my file again and I'll open this. Look at that.
Yeah, I was thinking for a second that you'd made the image too small, but it was just because the top bit is thin, so it looked like it was kind of. But it's just because obviously there is a slight distortion on the.
And can you see the hard horizon, which is here? That's the hard horizon. The jet black there is the hard horizon. And that's absolutely consistent with this, what we're seeing here. Absolutely consistent with seeing, you know.
Yeah, because you did the same thing from Southport, didn't you?
Yeah.
And obviously this is even further away, so this is just, you know, kind of
like cracking. It really is beautiful stuff. When I went there, I didn't expect. Well, I thought I would see some curve. I genuinely thought I would see some curve. I didn't expect to. Sorry, some flat. I didn't expect to see as flat and see the mirror ball absolutely perfectly perched. You know, that should have been 158 feet behind the curve, and we're seeing all of the mirror ball. It's not like, I mean, we're seeing all of the mirror ball. So we even seen that, you know, I mean, it's it's way above the actual horizon. It is above the horizon, this entire ball. So just to the top of it is 35 feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course we're seeing, oh sorry, 45 feet, wasn't it? So I think, but we're seeing all of the mirror ball itself. So there's 20 feet there that we're seeing less. So where's the 158 feet of curve? Where is it, people? It was just a great observation. I mean, look how beautiful that picture is. Can you imagine going across? And this is like virtually 20 miles. You're looking at this. Look at this entire peninsula. Look how beautiful.
Well, so some of it will be a bit closer, won't it?
Yeah, the tower itself is about 17 miles away. The big one is, I think it's 18.5 miles, and the mirror ball is 19. But look at that for a beautiful picture.
Yeah, that is, isn't it? Yeah.
Stunning. And the fact that, like I say, I mean, I've got this lined up. Where is it? This just lined up perfectly. I'll just move that out of the way. Look, and you can see how everything matches in. You know, the line of sight for the tower, the line of sight for the ice blast, the line of sight for the big one, and the line of sight for the mirror ball. It's all there. Look at it. Absolutely perfect. So we know we're looking at the mirror ball. There can be no denying. The last time that I said that I was seeing the mirror ball from Hoylake.
Oh yeah, there was some debate over that one.
Yeah, of course there was. Well, there's no debate in this. There is no debate in this. I mean,
yeah, because there's nothing else that it could be.
Nothing else that it could possibly be. Nothing else at all. It's in the exact position where you'd expect it to be. It's situated right on the promenade. It's lit up just as you'd expect it to be. The mirror ball is circular. There's nothing else it is. And look how much we're seeing. Beautiful. This is absolute proof, definitive proof of the flat, without a shadow of a doubt.
Then some might be kind of some these like philosophers would say, well, it's just flat as far as we can tell, but it could just be like a much bigger ball, but even so, you'd still have a little bit of curve.
Yeah, I mean, there's no curve at all. There's no curve.
I mean, if they're claiming gravity is a thing, then it has to be kind of, the curve has to be consistent all the way around, and they'll say, yeah, it's oblate, but even then, you still have to have some everywhere.
Who's on there? How come I've got like a skull avatar? That must be me.
Well, that's my. Well, it's for when.
Is that you?
Yeah, because it's the. Yeah, because obviously I'm, come in with my Google account, don't I?
Ah, right. Okay, got you. So if anybody has any questions in chat, I'm happy to listen to what you have to say, because this is just brilliant evidence as far as I'm concerned. I'd like to see somebody try and disprove what I've just showed you. If
there's quite a few people in chat now.
There is, yeah. I mean, if somebody wants to come along and say, this is wrong, prove me wrong. So apparently this proves nothing. This observation from 19 miles that shows the mirror ball, which is in total 45 feet from top to bottom above the actual sea level at that time, and yet it should be 158 feet behind the curve, but we're seeing the entirety of the mirror ball.
Yeah. So it's like somebody saying that what 100 eyewitness is at a murder scene, and it's doesn't prove anything, all the rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, hey, Mr. Nobody, right? You obviously did a lot of hard work there, Ranty. There's a couple of a-holes in chat. Yeah, of course there is. I mean, you expect it. It's going to happen. You do get these idiots in chat. The simple fact is they just can't. When somebody goes out and does real observations and produces real hard evidence like this, they have basically nothing to come back with you against. They can't deny it. The evidence is so clear for what you're showing them. And Ron Burgundy says, so where were the photos taken? Yeah, they were taken from Barrow and Furness. What is the amount of feet then at 18.7 miles with an angular resolution of 0.2%? Good times for all. You tried telling me, talking me through that. It was pretty, it was going in and then it went out again. You're too clever for me on stuff like that. But we're on the same page. We all agree that what we're seeing is what we're seeing. Can I put the raw files?
Well, he actually says that
Dropbox?
you'd actually have to account for this angular resolution, and it would even make the the ball look even more ridiculous, basically.
Sorry, right, I'm just going to block that guy's name. I don't like his name and I don't like his attitude. So he's probably a troll. He's probably got probably one of the numerous accounts, you know.
You can just identify him pretty quickly usually, and it's just, you know, it's not that hard.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. If somebody wants, sorry, somebody was just saying then that distance. They wanted to know the distance. So, okay. So if I go to the line which was for the mirror ball, and I go to the properties on that, and we go to the measurements. The measurements is length 19. Let me move that across so everyone can see it. The length is 19 miles. Dead on. That's from the mirror ball, which is, and you can see that that's the mirror ball because it's highlighting it with a hand now, so it's going over it. So the mirror ball line, which is here, so I'll just click OK on that, from where I took the images from, because somebody just said it was 17.69 miles or something. No, it wasn't. This is where I filmed the images from. Because what had happened is they have this place here. This is where you pay to go around the walk. So you can go to the conservation area and you're supposed to follow the path, and it leads you around, but you're not supposed to go down onto the beach. So I basically pulled up in here, and then when I got to here, I realized that somebody was living there. So I thought, oh, hang on, wait a minute. So I reversed back out and I parked up here in this little, was it there? Or maybe, no, it's just here actually. I parked here just off on the sand dunes. And then I walked across the sand dunes here and I parked myself here. And that's where I took my images from. So the line of sight from where I took the images from to the actual mirror ball was, as I say, it was 19 miles. Just show you that again. Properties, measurements, 19 miles. There you go. So if I did it to the, well, let's see, where's it gone? The Blackpool Tower. So if I do it from to the Blackpool Tower, the measurements to that, 16.9 miles to Blackpool Tower.
How many?
16.9. It was 16.9 miles to Blackpool Tower, which is here.
Yeah.
The first thing. And then, as I say, the furthest thing away was 19 miles dead on, which was the mirror ball. And again, I'm going to show this again because it's an absolutely beautiful picture. This picture is stunning. Absolutely fantastic. And here's our little mirror ball just over here, because they hate to admit that this is the mirror ball. They hated it from Hoylake and they hate it from here.
So it were definitely, because one of them said that it weren't, like, and they thought they'd proven that it weren't or something.
Yeah, but well, what the thing was, when they were taking the image from, because I was taking it from the different side, so it was in the line of sight of the ice blast. The mirror ball was in the line of sight of the ice blast. So the ice blast. So they were saying that it was the ice blast that was being picked out and not the mirror ball. I think I debunked that.
Because of the angle and all that.
Yeah, because it was a different angle. You see, when I go down to here, see, when you're taking it from this side, I've taken it from this side here, from there to there.
Yeah, because you'd have been looking north, wouldn't you?
The last time I was taking it from like here through here, so it had to, so the mirror ball itself, which is here, passed through the line of sight of where the ice blast, which is here. So it was through that line of sight. Really. So they were saying, oh, it wasn't the ice blast. So it wasn't the mirror ball. It was the ice blast that you were seeing. Like I said, I think I've disproved that. I think I got.
Well, even if it were the ice blast, you still shouldn't have been able to see that either. But if it were the mirror ball, that's even better.
Yeah. But here, there can be no doubt, because there is nothing else there is nothing from this direction that would be obstructing. There's nothing else apart from the mirror ball that it could be. And the line of sight is perfect. You can clearly see the definition on this. It's a spherical object. It's all lit up, and you can see the ambient light going around it, which proves that it's throwing off light. So whatever this is, and it's a big ball, you know, it was picked out from this distance, and it, you know, as I say, it matches up perfectly with the where are we? Must be here. Yeah, it matches up perfectly with the line of sight. You know, the line of sight matches up for everything. I've triangulated it all. This line is for the tower. This line is for the ice blast. This line is for that little anomaly there. This line is for the big one, and that line is for the mirror ball, and it all lines up perfectly. So there can be no debate this time as to what we're seeing. And Ron Burgundy asked, so I didn't get a chance to respond to you, Ron. You did ask whether or not I would be willing to put the files in a raw format. I mean, yeah, I'm happy to do that. Where would you like me to upload it to? How do you do it? Because I haven't done it before, but I'll share the images. Is it like a Google Drive or something? Do you know how to do that? Right, you can debate photos from multiple space agencies from 5 decades apart, starts both with no debate on photos from Ramsey. Well, I don't know how there can be any debate. I honestly don't know. You photograph what you expect to see, and you know, it is evident exactly what we're seeing. So is there anybody that wants to sort of like ask a question about the image? Do they want to see something different on it? Would they like me to do something different with it? Because whilst I'm doing this live hangout, if you've got any issues that you want with these images, I can have a go now and see if I can answer that and put it to rest. CGI. It wasn't CGI. I've got other pictures as well with the same thing. That was DSC 1433. This is DSC 1434. So if I open that, and this is a different image, and then I zoom in and I look across. Oh, look, there you go. There's the mirror ball. There's the mirror ball. Let me.
They'll be like, oh no, it's a boy in the distance.
It's a boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh god, hilarious. But yeah, I mean, it's just, and like I say, I mean, that big light, that big tall light is this bloody big crane here. And it was good of Sandra to go down and capture that for me, because it sort of like answered a question as to what it was. And Anthony Riley, who went across and did the same observation, he was able to capture it from the other side. And you can see this crane structure, you know. And yeah, the squash potato, I'm going to keep calling it the squash potato, but it is actually part of the ride on the big one. It goes down here, it goes up, goes down, and then it curls around on itself.
I remember. Yeah, actually, yeah.
So that's what we're picking up on these images here.
Yeah, there's like a sort of helix, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, you see it here, the yellow part of it that Anthony Riley picked out. Blackpool is really pretty, to be fair, especially when the illuminations are on. It's
apart from the suburbs of Blackpool.
yeah, you don't want to go out. You know, you don't want to go off the promenade. If you go if you go off the promenade, it's at your own risk.
I'm just thinking, is there any other like places where you could do like a good observation?
What, to capture Blackpool Tower?
Well, just anything really, just kind of anything that would kind of. But I suppose like once you've got that, you don't really need else, do you? Just like.
Well, if it's not curving over 19 miles, it's not going to curve over 35 miles or 50 miles. If it's not curving over, you know, if it's not curving at all, and you can see the hard horizon here, it's way, way, way below where that red dot is. I don't know if you can. Can you see how low the horizon? You know, the hard horizon here. It's way below the mirror ball, which is there.
Yeah, suppose you don't really need to go out and do it else now, because it's like, well, if you need to go out and do more stuff, then it means that you're not fully convinced yourself, really.
I don't think I need to do any more observations. I think this is it.
That's like the final nail in the coffin for Globe, you know, for you then.
Well, let me just show you what I'm trying to say here is that the horizon, if we believe in the ball model, the horizon should be, let me just move that down a tad. This is where the horizon should be.
So that's with the Mick West's magic bendy light formula.
That's Mick West's 158. I'm not using just the normal.
Yeah, because you wouldn't even see the tip top of the big one, really, would you? Well, actually, yeah, you would just a little bit, but
you would, yeah. I mean, that would roughly, give or take, that would be where the cutoff should be on the ball.
Yeah.
Right? So we would see, you know, hang on, let me increase the just increase the size of this a second. I'll just, if I blank out that here and increase that over there, right? That should have been what I should have seen with Mick West's bendy. If we didn't have Mick West bendy, then it would have been almost a bit higher. It would have been about there. So that's what we would have seen if it had been on a ball. So the fact that all that is visible, which is everything, you know, there's nothing that's not hidden there. You're seeing everything. Even to the point of when I went over on this part, where are we? And this line of sight here, which is here, is where the Ferris wheel is. Now the Ferris wheel isn't illuminated, but you can still make out the Ferris wheel on, because it's such a big object. If I have a look on here and I roll in, can you see the Ferris wheel? Can you see the distortion here, the circular distortion?
I think so, yeah.
Can you make that out?
Yeah.
And it's the only, if I scroll along a bit, there's nothing else that stands out like this on this part of it. Nothing else on here. So the only thing in the exact location that has that sort of shape is the Ferris wheel. And the line of sight comes down directly on the middle of that. So that must be the Ferris wheel that I've taken an image of. If I look at the Ferris wheel, here we have the Ferris wheel. You don't actually see the entire circular part of the Ferris wheel because it has a frame going along the bottom of it. So you only see, like, you know, like someone, if they had an afro haircut, you just see like the afro haircut part of it going around to here, like to, what is it, 7 o'clock to 5 o'clock. So 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock is all missing because you can't see it because of these struts that are in the way. So when I go back to the image and we look over here, you see it's just as convincing because you see all the way around, and it curls back to about 7 o'clock there, and all the way around it curls back to about 5 o'clock there, you know. So I know that I'm seeing all of the Ferris wheel there as well. If that had been lit up, that would have been beautiful. Can you imagine all that lit up? Just a shame I wasn't able
Yeah,
to
that
see
is it. But they should have lit it up really with, you know, the illuminations. They should have lit everything up.
Well, I'm not too fussed because I've been able to.
You can't complain when you've got all that evidence right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful shot. It's a beautiful image. And yeah, there's the mirror ball. So happy days. I'm glad I went and did the observation now. I was in two minds about it at one point, and then I decided to go for it. Yeah. So did someone say Dropbox? What's Dropbox? It's a effing shit image. What the F? It's a shit image. Well, what do you expect at night, looking across a body of water in the pitch dark? I mean, it wasn't just going dark. It was midnight.
Pretty much as dark as it could get, because like
it's an effing shit image. I mean, I'm not being funny. What do you expect trying to take an image of something 19 miles away in the dark?
Yeah, I'd like to see this guy try it.
Some of these people, they are hilarious. But it's the same troll. It's the same trolls, to be fair. You know, it's
just hiding under different sock accounts.
Yeah, exactly. And I like how they say it's a crap image, because I don't see it as a crap image at all. I see it as a fantastic image. I'd like to see people produce a better image from, or any, you know, show me the curve. Just show me the curve. I've just showed you the flat. I've showed you the flat from 19 miles away, completely flat.
Yeah. Sly will probably put out a video next. Ranty can't photograph.
Okay. So let me just go. I'm just going to address something here, because somebody just said that he was claiming that he was on the water line, right? He was claiming. Obviously, they've come back in and they haven't actually seen the video that I took of me videoing the video, right? So let's.
Then they're like, oh, but you claim that the NASA does Photoshop. Well, can we tell if your stuff's not Photoshop?
Yeah. So here I was on the beach, and the sea is here, and my tripod is here, and you'll see this in a moment. There's the sea. There's the water. There we go. There's the water. There's my tripod. And there's the water. It's about 4 feet away. I'm about 4 feet away from the water's edge, and the tripod is set at roughly 3.5 to 4 feet in height. So all you saying, you know, he claims I was on the water's edge. I have video showing I was on the water's edge, and I have GPS on the actual images.
It's crazy, you know how much they shift the burden of proof, isn't it?
Yeah, and that is my P900 on the tripod. Yeah. So my tripod P900. I had 3 torches, 1 on my head and 2 in my hands. But even then, it was so dark. It was like I couldn't get a clear image of what I was showing. But that showed you the water, so that showed you how close I was. you know, and again, you know, I mean, it's me that traveled the 70 miles there, the 70 miles back, that walked over the sand dunes to go and take this observation, sat on the beach for like 2.5 hours photographing Blackpool Tower, and then had to drive back home again, you know, and then put all this together and do all this work. And then you get people that just still aren't happy. I mean, what would they have preferred me to do next? Should I have jumped in the water, perhaps? Learn how to use your camera. Which camera? Because I believe that the images are pretty clear.
Yeah, it looked pretty clear to me.
5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes to edit the GPS coordinates. Well, I think you can firstly triangulate the positions, and there are some people out there, Ron, who are very clever at this. Anthony Riley was introduced me to some of these guys. I don't know the names, forgotten them now because I haven't spoken to them for a while, but they would be able to come on and just prove exactly where I'd taken the images from and where I've showed you and where the GPS is lined up. It'll be absolutely spot on. There's nowhere else I could, unless that was what you're trying to say. I was on a boat. Was I on a boat perhaps, and I rowed out halfway and took the images from there? I mean, do me a favor.
Well, this is all they've got, isn't it? To just, you know, call fake on it or whatever, and it's like but they say that what we provide is fake, and it's like, well,
yeah. So hang on, wait a minute. So he says that I faked my GPS, right? Well, okay. So if I faked it, did I fake myself as being? I should have been further away, perhaps, because from this peninsula where I am here, where I took the image from here, that is the nearest point, because all this is water, right? All this is water. Water, 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 right? All this is water. So where was I taking the image from? You tell me. If I was faking it and the GPS was all fucked up and I was doing it wrong, where was I taking the image from? Where would I have been doing it from? Come on, Ron. You know you can answer this question. You know you can do it. Come on, Mr. Troll. Tell me, where was I taking the image from? Ron now says he's not saying that I faked it. No, because you can't. It's one thing I don't do with my evidence is I don't lie. I just show it as it is. Larger than average refraction can explain it without fake reels. Well, the problem is, Ron, that for the last 6 weeks, when I've been on Hangouts, I've been telling people that on this particular day, I was going to go along and I was going to start filming and doing some pictures from this location on this day. So are you telling me that the both times that I've been to these places like Hoy Lake and Barrow and Furness, whenever I've gone, the atmospheric conditions just so happened to be that good for refraction that it made 158 of curve look flat on both occasions? I mean, come on. Use your brain cells. They're in there somewhere. You know, did the chemtrail it so that I'd be able to see the flat? Did they know I was going to go along and prepare for it? Did they...
because they're perpetuating the flat Earth psyop or something like that.
That's it. Did they spend thousands and hundreds of thousands of pounds chemtrail in the area ready for me to go along, do the observation because they knew I was going to show it was flat?
Yeah, because it's like, okay, maybe you get one, you know, fluke attempt to, you know, kind of and the show flat, but you know, then you know, that could just be an anomaly. But if you've done it multiple times from different locations, then
yeah, just I don't know. It's fun listening to them, but you know, you have to. There comes a point when you try humoring them, and then you realize actually you're really so far in your own hole that you don't know. I mean, you must have swallowed more blue pills than anything, because it's time you had a red pill. And this is part of your red pill. This is your awakening. This is saying, look, this is what I went and filmed. This is the evidence. Use your brain. Let me show you again where the horizon should have been. Was it on this image?
He might, you know, not be able to take the red pill just yet. Maybe the burgundy pill.
The burgundy pill. So here's where the horizon should have been. There. All that should have been beyond the curve. Let me show you how much should have been disappeared. All this should have gone. All that should have gone. That's all I should have been able to see from that distance. That's it. And that ball there, that mirror ball, well, that shouldn't have been able to be seen at all. But this is what I actually saw. Curved, flat. Curved, flat. And it's flat the entire length. So what do you do when presented with real evidence? Because I'm waiting for real evidence of the ball. All it takes is NASA to hang out the window of one of the ISS and film the ball. That's it. Because you have nothing, they won't do it because they know it's flat. Oh,
Well, even if the ISS is up there, they can just like use a fisheye lens and just put a fake curve in.
Yeah.
I mean, the curve doesn't even look right anyway. What sort of curve would you see up there anyway? I mean, they even like screw up sometimes, and they actually show it you flat and concave sometimes. Part of me is, you know, is saying that it's intentional. They want this out there for some reason. Why would they be making it so obvious?
Yeah. Well, here we are going to we're going to block a few people now. Block you. Who else is getting blocked? Let's see. Frisbee Earth. Yeah, you can get blocked. Yep, see you later. Charlotte, you're blocked. See you. Ron, you're blocked.
What's up with Charlotte? I thought she was not too bad.
Yeah, she's been on my case for the last 6 weeks. You know, every time I put a video up or I'm on a chat, she's in there dangling off my bollocks, you know, giving me what for. So, you know, I'm not putting up with it anymore. So I'm certainly not having it on my hangout.
So she's like one of those that swings both ways.
Definitely. Yeah, I thought she was all right originally. You know, I mean, going back 3, 4, 5 months ago, I thought she was cool. But it's not that I'm blocking people that disagree with you, but it's when I'm hearing things like he drove 70 miles with his big wheel and he's a liar and he's this and he's that. I don't need that in my chat, because all I am doing is showing you the evidence from what I filmed from 19 miles away. I'm showing you the evidence, and I'm showing you that I captured the mirror ball.
That's to say there's a she. It could be a he behind the account.
Yeah. All I'm doing is showing you the stuff. You know, this is the evidence. This is what was seen. This is where I was filming from, and this is what I captured. Now, if we lived on a ball, we wouldn't see that. So this just happens to disagree with you. All I'm doing is presenting evidence. So I'm not having people come into my chat and start causing chaos, because that isn't how this channel is going to be. This channel is going to be a nice channel where you can come in, you can talk nicely. I'll even allow the snipers to come in if they talk normally. But as soon as they start going down the trails of, you know, colluding with each other and you know, talking to each other in chat about me, and criticizing me and my work, or criticizing other people, or making derogatory comments, they get blocked. They get
Well,
blocked.
the thing is, none of these people have actually done anything to actually kind of counter what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I asked them lots of times, and all I'm getting is, oh, you went on a day where it was extreme standard refraction. I mean, it's ridiculous. It can't possibly be that it made it completely flat, because this is completely flat.
Yeah, did you see Wolfie's video where it was like it was up? I think it was at 8 meters or something, and it was, you know, filming a ship going over the horizon, and it, you know, obviously to the bowlers it would be convincing, but it didn't look like it was going over the horizon to me. It just looked like it was going into the distance.
I've not seen it yet.
Well, and I put a comment saying that it was actually just a, you know, mirroring effect that was kind of, I was just saying it doesn't prove it. The video didn't really prove anything. There was obviously some mirroring effect going on, and it was clearly there was some distortion. So
right, what I'm going to do here is I've just enlarged the mirror ball area, and I'm going to put in the hard horizon, which is there. I'm going to put in the lower part of the mirror ball and the top part of the mirror ball. So in my opinion, that's the lowest part of the mirror ball, and this will be the highest part of the mirror ball, which is...
what are you trying to do now then?
Well, that's the mirror ball captured there, right? So I'm going to save this. I'll show you now.
So you've done everything you needed to do.
Save as 400. I don't know. Should I call it 400? I don't know. So let me open that file, and I'm going to zoom in, right? So I've put in the hard horizon, which you can see is here. You can see the hard horizon, and it runs right through where I put the horizon in. Yeah. There's the mirror ball, the circular part, and there's the ambient light going around it. So that line at the top is the top of the mirror ball. That line is the bottom of the mirror ball, and there's the hard horizon. So all this is still being captured, right? So that was 20 feet. We know that from what I talked before and showed you, that the mirror ball itself is 20 feet. It's 10 feet down to the actual top of the promenade. So that would be here. So all this rest of the distance is the 4 meters that was the difference in tide height between where I filmed it and what the tide height was at that time. So in total, like I said, we're seeing all of this peninsula, because that's the mirror ball, and that is it was 4 meters and 10 feet, wasn't it? So what's that? 10 feet is, so that's 7 meters, and that's 3 meters. Yeah, so the mirror ball is 3 meters, and the 7 meters down to the ocean that should have been at that time, and it all fits in perfectly. So we're seeing all that is visible. There's no denying it. We're seeing every single part across 19 miles. Did you follow that, Jamie?
Yeah.
So yeah, get rid of 1312. Who's 1312? Cat's eyes. Actually, cat's eyes. Why can't I add you as a moderator? Actually, there you go. Add moderator. So cat's eyes, you're now a moderator. So you can start looking out for stuff in chat. If you see anybody that's causing any issues, just block them. So what are you doing, Jamie? Are you doing a hangout later?
Probably not.
Oh, right.
I don't know. I don't.
How's it
I'm
gone
probably
with
just
your...
gonna.
You're on live now, aren't you? Jamie Brown live when you do your hangouts.
Yeah, because obviously I got a strike. I got copyright strike.
Oh, right, a copyright. What was that? Somebody came in on and sort of like put stuff up on...
I don't know what because it was a video that got obviously, took down due to copyright. So I didn't even, obviously get to see what it were in it that was actually kind of. So I took down the video, and I basically, like sent the guy a message or whatever, and it's not responded, or it's not responded it since. I mean, it's probably just kind of a stock account of somebody. I don't know.
Right. Well, can I just ask the guys in chat, if you think that I've proved the flat, press number 1, and if you think that I haven't proved the flat, press number 2, please, just so I can get a basic heads up. And if you want to leave a comment after the hangout's finished, that would be great. If you think there's any issues or there's something you want to mention, by all means, leave a comment. We can see some of the trolls are in. I love it. Which is Jamie's channel? Jamie's channel is Jamie Brown Live.
Yeah, so just if you just type in Jamie Brown Live, you should find it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there really is any other channel called that.
And if you want to sub on this as well, because this will be the channel that I'll be doing my live streams from now for the next 3 months or so. I'm not able to live stream on Ranty Rant anymore. This is Ranty Rant, but it's Ranty Rant that will be doing.
Quite a few people in, isn't there?
Yeah, it's nice to have 30 in, but ultimately, probably a good few of them are probably trolls.
Yeah, because you're not getting a lot of thumbs, are you?
Yeah, there's a Google Chromium Domium A's in there. We've got them all in, to be fair. I'm just waiting for the cum farts and all that to come in. We need to see a cum fart.
Cigar face and all that.
Cigar face, yeah. I mean, he's.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, because the one where they just put like cum teeth on every one of them.
Yeah. Cum teeth. Look at this beautiful picture, though. I absolutely love this image because it has everything that you want to see on it. I mean, look at that for the ice blast there. Look at it. Boom. And there we have my little mirror ball. I love the mirror ball because it's something that the ballers hate to admit that I've captured, because if they admit that I've captured it, because it is so close to the
it's too close for comfort for them, isn't it?
It really is. It's a thorn in their side, and they hated it when I was doing it. When I did the observations from Hoylake, they absolutely detested the fact that it could have been the mirror ball, and did everything they could to say it wasn't. But the series of images that I captured, this is one of maybe half a dozen that I've captured the same mirror ball from in the same location. So this is just one image. This just happened to be the most spectacular, in my opinion. Still trying to figure out what this is though, because this anomaly showed up on a few of my images. It's like a building structure type thing. I was wondering if it was something that had just been put up, erected for the illuminations being opened. It's a possibility. Can't figure out what that is. Maybe somebody in chat could do it, find out what that is. And that building there, I wonder what that is as well. But yeah, beautiful image. And yeah, I will upload it to, did it say Google Drive?
Pardon? Oh.
I think it was Google Drive they wanted me to do the hangout in, to put the images in. I'll have a look at setting that up later, and I'll put the link in the comments section later on. So when I've done it, I'll upload the images, and if you want to check back in, say, 2 hours, I'll have it up. Right, I think I'm gonna knock off now. I think I've showed everything I wanted to see. If you're going on if you're doing a live stream later, Jamie, I won't mind nipping on at some point.
Yeah, I've just not been doing as many lately.
Okay.
Right. But yeah, like you said, you've done it like what you wanted to do. Yeah,
exactly. Someone's just asked where's the 100% proof. You haven't even showed 5% proof. Okay. Clearly you've not been watching from the start then, because I kind of had it all planned out, the process that I was going to walk you through it, like holding your hand, like, you know, when you hold a baby and you're trying to show them something, you try to teach them. Well, it's like, that's what I'm trying to do with the ballers. I'm trying to say, look, and I showed you through it from start to finish, where I was, my location. You know, I've tried to spoon feed it you as best I could. And if you can't follow it being spoon fed the way I've spoon fed it you in this hangout, then there's no hope for you. So if you're going to come on and say that I haven't even showed 5% proof, then I'm sorry, but you're trolling and you are being blocked. When I get the option to block you, why aren't I getting the option to block you? Where are we? Why can't I have the option to, there we go, block, boom, see you later. So after being spoon fed for nearly 2 hours, if you can't follow it and you're going to act dumb and you're going to tell me that I haven't even showed 5% proof, then in my opinion, you're just a complete troll who has no place on my channel. And you're blocked as well. Validation, Dad, because you've taken my image, cropped it out. Obviously, you spent a bit of time doing that. If you spent as much time doing stuff like that as you did in actually trying to prove the ball, I might have some respect for you. But if you're just going to come on and just take my image and crop it out and make an account called Validation Dad, you know, you're clearly putting your efforts into the wrong thing. Right, I'm going to end the hangout, and thanks for coming, everybody. I appreciate everybody that came in and had something to say. I'm pleased that as many as 30 people actually came into the to watch what I'd found.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, especially that, you know, it's not your main channel. Yeah,
I'm very happy that people decided to stop by and see what I had to show them. If they take anything from it, that's great. Peace to you all, and I'll do another hangout another time pretty soon, probably. Right, Jamie.
All right. Yeah, I'll chat to you soon then.
Yeah,
We'll
sure.
see what they have to say about this then, eh?
Yeah, let's hope that you know, it opens up some new avenues of either both respect and evidence. So the evidence is there. I'll put it on Google Drive if people want to try and debunk it or say this, that, and the other, they can do it. I know my evidence is exactly as I've showed it, so I've nothing to hide. And yeah, I'll stop the broadcast now. Thanks for coming, guys. Peace out.